Morning, welcome to Little by Little, a short time in God's Word. Today, November 27th, we got Psalm 125, Matthew 26 and 27. Let's go to the Gospel of Matthew as things are winding down and we're heading towards the cross. As in all the Gospels, as you head towards the end, you get the cross and the resurrection. So seemingly bad, ultimately really good, right? And so chapter 26 begins with, hey, there's people plotting against Jesus. And you think, that's crazy. But what's more crazy is you read in the book of Revelation and how there's a 1,000-year reign of Christ on earth. And at the end of the 1,000 years, he releases Satan for a short time. And people that had been under the reign and rule of Jesus are going to turn on Jesus and follow Satan. That's crazy. It demonstrates the necessity and the need for a heart change. That our hearts are wicked and deceitful. And going to the cross was the only way to save us. So, chief priests and the elders kind of come up with this plan. Judas is chosen. Jesus is going to give the disciples Passover for the first time. And in that, Matthew 26, 30 to 35, I'll just have you read it. And Jesus tells Peter, well, he tells them all, hey, you're gonna run away kind of thing. And Peter's like, oh, though everybody else does, I'll never. And Jesus is like, well, actually, you're going to deny me 3 times. Peter's like, no, even though I must die with you, I'll not deny you. And all the disciples said the same, right? They're like, there's no way that's going to happen. And maybe the most impactful or instrumental moment and time then occurs right after that is Gethsemane, where Jesus goes essentially to die. You're like, I thought he died at Golgotha. Yeah, that comes up. But before he gets to Golgotha, he's already ready to die. Why? Because he's surrendered at Gethsemane. And Gethsemane is that place where he is praying earnestly and drops of blood and he's got nothing left. Father, if there's another way, but not what I will, but what you will. Right? He's like, if there's another plan, if there's another possibility, let's do that instead. But if not, I'm going to do your will. Knowing what that will was. And I think what it reminds us is, well, there's quite a few things. Jesus prays in the moment where the hour of temptation was the greatest. You're like, what was the temptation? The temptation is going to be to not go on the cross, to say, no way, Jose, it's not worth it. I'll take the easy road, right? And to surrender completely. And he does that, and he fights that battle on his knees in prayer. And when he talks to the disciples that he had brought with him there, Peter and the sons of Zebedee, James and John, who had fallen asleep multiple times, he says, watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And that, I think, really sums it up. Right? Jesus spent the time in prayer, they spent the time in sleep. And Jesus is like, hey, I know you mean well, but the flesh is weak. So we don't lean into the flesh. We got to rely on the Spirit. And I definitely been feeling that lately, even more. That my own mind and my own framework, it's a mess. So I have to rely on the Spirit. I have to rely on God to be at work in me and through me, even when I don't feel. And so what follows is his arrest and the trials, and into chapter 27 is the cross. Read through those slowly and surely with great thankfulness to Jesus for what he has done for us. Till next time, keep growing little by little.